second important file was the angular.json file, and this is considered as the webpack file. कौन सी फाइल कहलाती है ये? webpack file, ठीक है ना? You have worked anytime with XSD? Anyone? Have you heard about XSD? You have heard about XSD? XML schema? XML schema आपने नहीं सुना? आपने सुना XML? You have heard about XML schema? No? Okay, so you know XML, right? But if I want to predefine some tags with the XML, I can do with the XML schema. If someone has not used, so it will automatically give the error in the XML. So previously when we were working with the JSON, it was no concept of the JSON schema, only JSON could be dynamic also. But now JSON has come up with the same concept, which is the XSD's XML schema definition. So that's the same concept has come with the JSON also, which is known as the schema.json. We can provide for any file what type of schema could have into that particular JSON. ठीक है ना? So that the schema we write like that on the first line, and we specified that okay, go to this schema JSON, and this whatever I am writing here, which should be follow the same schema. If I will change the name, it is started to give me the error. Okay, you will not use that proper name. ठीक है ना? So that is the one of the most new thing has come in industry, which is called as the JSON schema. Okay, if you know the XML schema, you can easily relate. नहीं है तो अभी मैं बताता हूँ. So I am going into this folder, okay, and I will go to this folder Angular module. Okay, module के अंदर I will go to CLI. I am going to CLI, I am going to library, I am going to config, I am going to schema.json. Okay, what it tells, okay, it tells about what type of attribute you can have, what this attribute could have, what type. मतलब इसमें उसने बताया कि this would be the string type, what properties could be the string type. Okay, version you can maintain like the any other schema it is defining. Okay, and all the thing which you can write in angular.json, it's written here. Okay, like suppose I am going to take one example like prefix. What type of prefix I can have? So it is going to tell me. If I want to check that, oh sorry, control F, control V. Okay, so prefix का type कौन सा होगा? String. It is string. What do you mean by the prefix? HTML selector is there. Description, the prefix to apply the generated selector. Okay, alias is P. ठीक है ना? So you will understand what do you mean by this, right? Everything which is available is here. Majorly they have provided the description also in this particular file. So if you want to read more and more and more, you can read from this file. You are getting my point?
So last one, alias जो string है उसके अंदर P, उसका क्या meaning?
Alias मतलब उसका short name you can use like P. ठीक है ना? Alias is always with the short name. You are using the database, so you know alias keyword is very familiar. So I am using the different name schema. You understood? If I want to use the source root, what would be the source root is? Okay, I want to understand what is the source root is. So control V. Source root is this type is string, of course. लेकिन what do you mean by source root? The root of the source file. क्या बोल रहा है वो? You have to understand from here what it is saying, that if I am maintaining here source root anything, this folder or this file, whatever the name is given, would consider as the root of source file. मतलब इसी के अंदर सारी आपकी files होने वाली हैं. You have to understand this English also, which means assets and index.html and file structure, right? So whatever we are going to use here, I have the full definition with me. So you try in home, you create this file and try to understand every for file name, and I'm going to explain you the whatever the we require most. Okay, and with time you will learn the more and more and more. Okay, so but one thing you have to understand, this is the predefined text. SRC is predefined folder. If I want to change the SRC to my SRC, can I do? This is yes. So where is this SRC? Is actually this is SRC folder. If I want to change in my project, I don't want to use the SRC folder. I want to use the my SRC folder. So what I have to do is I have to change first the folder name, and I have to change this SRC folder. Right? I'm going to talk about this project type, and project type till Angular 1.5, oh sorry 1.5 till 5 Angular 5 project type, there was no concept of the project type, and now they have come up with the concept of the project type. It could be two type, application and library. ठीक है ना? What do you mean by this? First I will show you from here. Instead of I will talk anything, the best thing is it will give the proper definition for you. So project type could be string. It is telling us that about the project type, and it could be application or library. Till Angular 5 there was no concept of this, but why they have come up with this concept? Because what's happened, if I am creating any project, okay, like I will give the example of the Java and .NET, which is the relevant example. If you are not getting, so ask me, and then I will explain you with this example. So if you guys are creating any project in any language, Java, PHP, .NET, Node.js, anything, what was you were creating like that? एक ही project में सब कुछ रखते हो क्या? आपके भी backend में .NET या Java होता होगा ना? आपका कोई ना कोई बैकएंड डेवलपर भी होगा ना. क्या होता है .NET, जावा, PHP में मल्टीपल प्रोजेक्ट जनरली वी डोंट कीप, बट फॉर जावा एंड .NET वी डोंट क्रिएट वन प्रोजेक्ट, वी क्रिएट द different projects, right? You might have seen the structure of any other project where we keep the one project for the view, one project for the controller, one project for the other things, database connection, like that. You create like multiple project, and one project would always be the main project. So Angular till Angular 5 there was no concept of this. Now they have come up with the same concept. You can have one project which is the main running project, and other project which is the supporting project for that. ठीक है ना? So they have come up with the new thing, application and the library. ठीक है ना? This is also important. So when at least one application project you should have in your project. Then this is the prefix. I am going to show you this prefix with the demo. What do you mean by the prefix? So by default prefix is considered as the app. Okay. And what is this? If I will go to here app.component, and you see the selector app root is there, and this is the prefix is there, app root. ठीक है? तो चूंकि हम लोग यहाँ पे app root, I will go again app, ठीक है? Build and all will talk later. लेकिन build and all में these are the, whenever I will build that folder, okay, build that project, what would be my output path? Means when I will build that, I should put some my source code into some folder, right? You do the packaging, export, right? You do the export in Java, you do the publish, right? You have done the export in Java. So that time we have to define one folder, right? So that folder is nothing but this, okay? And publish you define one folder, that index file. Every project, web project require at least one index file, right? You know, default.html, index.html, anything. You create at least one file, na? Which is the starting of the page. That file is nothing but this index.html. ठीक है ना? Main.ts is what? If you have work with the any C++ language, there is always be one class which is considered, which will have the public static void main function, right? Like the same as Angular start with the main.ts file. Okay, main.ts file is like public static void main is there. Main.ts is responsible for the running the or invoking the Angular. Okay, .ts is the extension of the TypeScript file, ठीक है ना. TS is the extension, like Java file has the .java, .NET file has the .cs, HTML file has the .html, and TS means the TypeScript. Every file, we'll go in very detail with this. We'll talk about polyfill also, but not right now, otherwise it would become very theoretical. So I will do little bit practical and little bit in start. We'll go with like that, we will do little bit practical, little bit theory, and then we'll jump to proper practical, all practical, ठीक है ना. So यहाँ तक I have talked with you.